Fiction, science fiction, horror, fantasy, crime, LGBT, thriller.
You have now entered the House of Mystery.
Welcome back into the House of Mystery. I'm Al Moore and Mr. Dave Rose Martino. So I can go back to your fake name now because...
Fake name.
I just went through that. It was funny. This last week, too, because I just went through that with Jennifer Ann Gordon. So it's when you get the co-hosts on, because we always call her Peaches.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Well, you see, because another horror writer came up with that name for her, because she's a burlesque killer. And he came up with the name of Peaches, and she loves it, so she's using that in her horror, right? Yeah. So it got to where we just say, hey, and we got Peaches, and everybody knows her as Peaches in the horror community. But when she's doing a book, you got to use her real name. And I said, I just went through that with Dave. I had to call him David North Martino. And it's
crazy.
It's really weird. And she goes, look, Al, we have careers too, you know. It's like, yeah, I know, but it's just, you just get into a habit, right?
Yeah.
What can I say?
Rose and Peaches.
Yeah, there you go. Rose, Peaches. I won't give you that.
Sounds like a band.
Yeah, it should be. An 80s punk band.
Peaches and Rose.
Yeah, Peaches and Rose. That's just like...
Guns N' Roses, you know.
Yeah, well, it's not exactly that kind, but you never know. I wouldn't be surprised, you know. So you watched the Jack Reacher series yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the part 3?
Yes. I watched a good portion of it. I don't think it's all out yet.
Okay, I just watched episode 1, and
okay,
I just love that guy. Even if the show's bad, I just love it. I don't know why. It's just one of those that I like his sense of humor, and I just like who he is and the character, and I think it's great. But I only got through 1. I'm still on season 5 of Kojak. So.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm watching all sorts of old stuff myself. So
yeah, I'm going through Kojak because it puts me in the flavor for the 70s, which is what I'm writing. So it just fits, and I think Rockford Files will be next. So speaking of flavor, speaking of cops, speaking of Reacher, we've got Jack Reacher here. No, we've got a writer. His newest book, Sanctity of Freedom, and it's an Inspector William Fox series. Now this is book 2. So, Peter Thomas Pontsa, thank you for being here.
I'm glad to be here, Alan. It's my second time, and it seems fresh again.
Well, we do change things a lot. Well, listen, so what's going on with you? Do you watch those shows? Because you write these kind of actions, so do you watch those shows too? Or
I do. I'm hooked on Reacher. Is one of my favorites, yeah.
Yeah, there's something about I think they picked the right guy for the character, you know?
In this case, they certainly have. I mean, the original movies with Tom Cruise in it was, we were all kind of disappointed because although he's got a lot of presence on the screen, he's rather short and not really fits the part exactly the way Lee Child wrote him. So when we see this, it's Richards, I think his name is Richards, right? I've forgotten his first name. He's an imposing man, and he's really well built, and he's got a brain to match. I think he's a very fine actor.
Yeah.
He pulls off the character so well. I mean, you can just close your eyes and think about what Jack Reacher's like in the book and think, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, and what makes him really good, I think, is that his expressions, you can read his face, what he's thinking. Do you know what I mean? Like when he has an expression or when he's doing something, you just know. He's just perfect for the character. I think they did a great job. Who have you got in mind for your, William Fox? I know me, but besides me.
Well, I look at David is really good at martial arts, and so is
there we go.
Inspector Fox. He might do, but have you got any acting lessons behind you there, David?
Just a little bit. Yeah, I've done a small amount of acting, but see, I'm too short too. I think I'm shorter than Tom Cruise, so I can stand on a box though.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Inspector William Fox, he's a 6'2" kind of guy, and he's about 200 pounds too, so he's a big man as well.
I'd have to do the Tom Cruise thing.
Yeah, I don't know who. Look, let's see what happens with the book first before anyone signs off on it. I mean, I don't want to count my chickens,
Well, no, but we talk to a lot of writers, and when they write a lot of these books, there's a lot of people that picture who their character is. They have an idea of what they would look like, and some people put it to actors and some don't, but they still have an image in their mind of their main characters. Do you not write that way? Do you not have any sort of image of what?
I do. Like Inspector William Fox's girlfriend, Tracy Jordan, is a definite doppelganger for Scarlett Johansson, and I think that she's a lovely-looking lady too.
Right.
So,
right.
If she can have the part whenever the book ever gets to screenplay and the movies. She can have the part if she wants it.
Well, only if she asks nicely.
Alan, I don't think I'm in a position to start asking nicely.
Oh, sure, why not? Well, I mean, you can always have your wife do it, right? That's what you're supposed to say when you pick a girl character. Just say it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a touchy area.
Yeah. So, listen, here we go, book 2. What have you got happening with your inspector in this book?
Well, if you remember the first book, there was a Mr. Kim who was his karate instructor, or his martial arts instructor. He is one of the main parts of the story, as is Inspector William Fox. Now, it starts off with a Korean being found on the shores of an island in the St. Lawrence, and it becomes part of a case that William Fox gets involved in accidentally. There's a note on this particular individual that has the address of the Mr. Kim's dojo. And so what we find out is that his sister was abducted when she was about 14 from South Korea and taken to North Korea. And she's there now, very high in the echelon. But a lot of these people don't know that what has become with her is that she's become really she dislikes her husband because he's actually a brute, and he abuses her, so she wants to get out. So this was her last chance to leave with her son. And the note basically was her ask of her brother to get out. So he realizes that, and he heads back to South Korea, and he joins up with his old police buddies, and they try to make plans to get into North Korea to see if they can get her out, some sort of a plan. In the meantime, we have a Canadian diplomat who gets murdered in Seoul, which is also part of the overall story because it's a spring off of this particular main story. And William Fox has been asked to go and find out how he got murdered, get involved in the investigation with the Metropolitan Police of Seoul. But I think they get it transferred. I believe I've got that story transferred to the Intelligence Bureau, so it makes it a little bit more of a thriller, of an espionage type of political thriller. So they try to, like, Inspector Fox is there trying to figure out what happened with this diplomat, and while he's there, Mr. Kim convinces him to help him get her sister out. So that's actually the premise of the story. There's another couple of other storylines that are also blended in it, like his father's, William Fox's father's there too as well. And there's another story involved where the North Koreans are trying to build an ammunition and a weapons factory in Yemen. So there's a few little different stories all blended together. That should give you a general idea of what the story's about. It's rather like a crime political thriller.
Well, I'm wondering, you mentioned that Mr. Kim was a karate master or taekwondo master, as is listed. I trained in taekwondo formerly, kind of the Korean karate variant, not the Olympic style, for like 10 years. Did you train in taekwondo? Did you do?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. I've got a second-degree black belt.
No, that's great.
I haven't been in a club for a while. But I trained with the in the world taekwondo style, which I think is the Olympic style.
Yeah.
Because they have another one. I think they have the international one, which is, I think, more prevalent in North Korea, I believe.
Yeah, that's kind of somewhat where it came from in a way. I did taekwondo, the taekwondo Mudokwan, which was more like the Tangsudo Korean karate. It was kind of like the early stage.
Yeah, I know
early stage of things. Yeah. So your experience. So you must put in, your experiences.
Yes, I do. I do talk about William Fox is actually quite prolific as a martial artist, and he has a 6th degree in black belt, and he does do a lot of kicking and striking and that sort of thing. Yeah, so he does get himself embroiled in quite a few things. He does a lot of flying kicks, which is something that I used to do, but I don't do anymore.
No, not me either. My knees can't take it.
But yeah, I spent quite a few years at the club, and it was my life. Actually, I had a lot of fun there. I met a lot of people. Had met some nice girls too while I was there.
Yeah.
But it was an overall wonderful experience.
Yeah, Dave does a lot of kicking too, but that's to get into the kitchen. Yeah,
Knock down the door.
Yeah, kicks the chairs and the doors and everything like that. I'm not sure if I asked you this before, but when you write these books, like the Inspector's book, and you're doing this kind of a book, are you writing it with a purpose? Is there a meaning? Is there some sort of subtext or something that you want a reader to get away from in this book, or is it just all, entertainment?
Well, it is entertainment, but the first 2 books have been kind of geopolitical. I think, but the messages I'm trying to bring across is, democracy is actually being kind of diminished a little bit, chipped away. I see that I see a lot of things in the world I don't like to see, but I mean, unfortunately, that's not much I can do about it. So if I speak about it a little bit and bring people's attention to it, then perhaps maybe we can wake up before we lose democracy as it is, and we end up with a lot of things we don't want to face and bear because it becomes too difficult. Authoritarian governments are not working well. I think democracy, capitalism works better. So I guess that's part of my message. But there's a lot to these stories, too. It's not just this action suspense. There's emotion and there's intensity. And, there's, in this particular book, there's sweet moments of, romance and friendship. So there's a lot of things in it, too. You can't really pinpoint anything in particular. I hope it's entertaining. I hope people get something out of it. I mean, I'm not writing messages. I mean, then I would go nonfiction if I wanted to write something like that.
And even then, I don't. I have no message,
Oh, okay. Well, I meant like self-help books, things like that.
Oh, yeah. I might need some of those.
Me too.
From what you tell me, David needs to read a few of them.
Yes.
Well,
as many as possible.
He's doing well. I'm the one that needs the help here. I tell you. So, when you write a book, now, did you have this in mind? How many books are you thinking about doing with this main character, or do you sort of just play it by ear?
No, I believe I had, 5 in mind. I think that I've got enough information, a lot of, as Lee Child says, gas in the tank for writing at least 5. I'm hoping I can get to that, and if the series takes off, then I can keep on going with it.
You just never know, right? And how it works out and stuff like that.
Well, it's interesting because, as you know, Angela's a writer. My wife is a writer as well, and we had thought about sitting together and maybe doing something completely different. She does paranormal, I do political crime thrillers, and we thought maybe why don't we sit down and write a book together, collaborate on it. And we hope it doesn't lead to divorce or anything like that. But we can do something maybe different, like we talked about science fiction. So that might be something to consider too. But I do plan on doing at least those 5 for sure. It's not etched in stone, Alan. I mean, things can happen, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, things change, and you don't know where you're going time to time, right?
Well, I'm wondering too, talking about series. Even in the standalone book, how do you keep track of your continuity and make sure that it's on point? Do you have systems, tools? Are you developing a series Bible? How does that work for you?
Well, I think the series Bible is a very good idea, especially if you're starting to get into more than 2 or 3 books, because keeping up all these different little scenarios is not odd, but it's difficult to do so. What I do when I do my characters, though, is I do have a descriptive sheet when they were born. In fact, I have for William Fox, I do have a genealogy chart. I go right back to his grandfather.
Oh, wow.
And then I've got what I do is like a character arc sheet, which I do with their name, their age, when they were born, their characteristics, their eye color and all that sort of stuff. Then basically another thing I do too is I use their horoscope, because a lot of things that we are born with are these little characters that like Geminis has certain characters, Cancer has certain characters, and sometimes you can incorporate these particular traits into your characters as well. Then I do usually where they live, what kind of hobbies they have, and lately I've been thinking about, are they pro-abortion, not pro-abortion, and are they into diversity, that sort of thing. I mean, you start really building their character, so that at least I have these sheets and I can go back to them and refer to them. Like if I'm going to have 2 books or 3 books or 4 books, it would be good to keep these particular individuals constant, although they may change because of circumstances that they find themselves into. Because obviously you're not going to be the same person at the beginning. Things turn around. You say, well, sometimes you end up being hopefully wiser when you make mistakes, or hopefully a little bit more caring when you've been nasty or something. But whatever, your characters apparently should change as they get older. So these are things also you can put into your so-called Bible, and have these things ready to be when you start your book, that you know that these are the things you have to put in. Or if you miss them while you're editing, at least you can go back and say, well, okay, I missed that, and should I put it in? Does it make sense here, or should I not? So as you know, the editing process is the most difficult part of everything. These kind of these Bibles that we have, or these systems that we have for keeping all our notes, are very important.
Absolutely.
So the voice of the killer, how do you get into that? How do you write, a bad guy?
Well, Alan, in my travels, I had met some bad people.
Dave?
So it's yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Growing up in the mean streets of Toronto, you've met some pretty bad people. You avoid them. And I'm not saying I had a storied youth, but I'm saying I picked some pretty bad people as friends years and years ago, which in my case now as a writer is very interesting, because I can take some of these characters and some of the evil things they've done, and some of the things, like in this particular case, Mi Cha, who is Mr. Kim's sister, who's in North Korea being held against her will. Her husband, June Park, is a really nasty man, an assassin, as a matter of fact. So he does some pretty nasty stuff. I mean, getting inside his head psychologically is, you look into some of the traits that some of these psychotic people have. You can look it up on the internet, read some psychology books, and you can pick out some traits. And then you try to incorporate them into their character. And after a while, you can build a pretty nasty person.
Yeah. I just close my eyes, think of Dave. Oh, I got to stop picking on Dave. I'll get some bad emails again.
Here comes the email, Sal.
Yeah, here comes
I don't know why you were always picking on Dave. I mean, the last bit you did about getting get that money for his book so he can pay for a psychiatrist. I mean, that was kind of low, Alan. I thought.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. I'm there's a character builder in here for me. That's I need help. Well, anyway, so how does this affect you? But when you write these kind of crime books and stuff like that, and you get into these scenes and action and murder and stuff like that, does it affect you at all, or you just kind of get through it, no problem?
I get through it. I think I don't want to say this as being cavalier, but I mean, we do see a lot of this stuff on television all the time, and I don't want to say I'm desensitized to it. I just think, this is sometimes reality in certain places of the world. When we write from a writer's standpoint, I think it's basically just get into it, do what you can, and then pull back. I mean, I've written this book. It was just finished probably last year, and we didn't release it till this year. So I've kind of put it back. I put it behind me in a way. And although we're talking about the characters now, when I wrote it, I guess I was really deeply into it. But at this stage, it's not affecting me. I'm still feeling pretty good.
Now, if you wrote a book about dentistry or something, that would be painful.
Yeah, you know what? And somebody asked me that why don't I put, if I know dentistry, why don't I put somebody in my books? And I think, oh, I'd like to put that behind me.
Yeah.
What was that movie where I forgot the actor's name? He was in. They drilled a hole in his front tooth.
Marathon Man.
Marathon Man. Do you remember that? I mean, that was the
Dustin Hoffman.
the worst. Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, and he's running around from his pursuers, sucking through the hole in his tooth. Oh my God, who can beat that? I mean, who can beat that for cringeworthy, right?
Mm-hmm. There you go. That's what you need to be,
Well, yeah. So maybe is this what you're suggesting, Alan? My next novel, I just get the drill out, drilling people's teeth. You must confess, drill away,
Change it. It'd be like the saw, but it'll be like the drill.
Yeah, it would probably work if it's done the right way. I mean, like it's but you know what? We go back to the old days where they just tore your fingernails out, really,
Yeah, well, the dentists already have a name, so, there's pain and all that. How do you write the action scenes then? Do you kind of act them out in your mind, or do you kind of put yourself in the place of action or crime in that way to write?
In a way we have, yeah. I mean, I remember in the first book, there's a scene where Inspector William Fox gets taken out to get, it's the final walk, and he does a trick where he bends down and he twists around and he stands up and grabs the gun from under the guy's arm, and he kind of tags him down and throws him down and gets the gun from him. Now, I haven't described it as literally as I would have in the book, but the point is, I had it already thought out and it looked pretty good. I thought, I'm going to try it. So I got Angela, my wife, to pretend she had a gun to the back of my neck. And then I did this maneuver, and darn it worked. I said, okay, this is going into the book. And no one was hurt during this little rehearsal. So it turned out pretty good.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And of course, she really had a gun, and she was...
yeah, I don't have that much insurance, but I think you can use something better, right? Don't women use poison? I think women use poison. I think that's the best way to get rid of your husband, right?
Yeah. Have a cup of juice. Yeah, that's well, that's really cool. That's interesting. So, what's your favorite character to write in this book?
Well, I have a guy that I introduced him in the first book, and he's a Chinese spy, but yeah, he was okay. I liked him, but I really like Mr. Kim. He's my favorite. And I modeled him after my instructor that I had for many, many years. We became very close friends. He taught me a little Korean. He taught me how to use chopsticks. Taught me how to eat Korean food, and kimchi was my favorite. We'd go out on a Friday night and have a couple of beers right after the last class. And sometimes we go to Koreatown and Toronto and have a couple of beers and some kajin, some bulgogi and all that sort of stuff. So I modeled it after him. He's my favorite. I really, really like him as my character. And in the second book, Sanctity of Freedom, he does shine quite a bit. He steals quite a few scenes in the whole book. And that's my favorite guy.
What's the most difficult to write for you? What's the biggest challenge in writing a book like this?
Writing about women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the gender gap. I mean, I try to be a good writer, and I'm learning a little bit more about writing about women. I mean, I do have women I can bounce off. I've got beta readers and people that I know that I can ask, but I think that's the most difficult thing for me, especially when I'm dealing with Tracy Jordan, who is Inspector Fox's girlfriend.
Yeah, it's different, to get into the mindset and write it so that it's believable. People appreciate it, Well, great. So what do you got in the file right now? What are you doing? Do you write when you do the promos for other books that you come out, or are you working on something else right now? I
am working on something now. That's the third one. And I'm only into it for maybe 4 chapters. I really haven't done much. We were on a writing vacation down in Curacao for about 3 weeks, but I didn't find it very conducive because they didn't have writing desk. Like when we used to go to Costa Rica, we had some wonderful places where you could write, walk the beaches in the morning, get some sunshine, write in the afternoon or whatever. But I didn't find it so conducive, so I really haven't done that much this time. But as soon as the weather gets a little better here, I'm going to bear down and start working on the third one. And like I say, I've got another storyline going here, which is going to be a little bit different. Don't know if it's going to be political. It's going to the location will be in Toronto, and it'll be a different type of case that Inspector William Fox is going to be involved in. So that's all I can tell you for now, because the outline is very thin at this stage.
No, we don't know who dies then.
No. Have you got any suggestions? I mean, of course you don't know the characters, right? But
no, but we'll make one up. Well, yeah. So you really have to be in the right frame of mind and atmosphere and the right place and everything to write. Like that all affects you. Like you can't just sit down and do it.
No, that's true. It's true. I mean, I'm a retired businessman now, so I've got more leeway. It's not like I have a day job and I have to do this and try to squeeze things in. And, occasionally I do get writer's block, but then I have a little trick I do. I just pick up an old volume of Shakespeare and read it out loud. And after a while, I start feeling creative for some reason or other. But, I can go at my own pace now, and which is good. And when I get into it, though, but sometimes when I get into it, I don't eat. I've missed lunch many times, and I just start going right. I just go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's kind of like Dave. Dave does that.
Does he?
Yeah, starves.
I think Dave and I both have a lot of things in common here.
Yeah.
He's a martial artist. I'm a martial artist.
Yeah. Read Shakespeare. Yeah.
Do you read Shakespeare?
Yeah, with "'Tis nobler in the mind," the stuff with the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
My goodness! Wow, you should be on stage. That's fantastic.
You're right.
Yeah, he just played Van Helsing in whatever that was. That
it was kind of an amateur YouTube reading.
Yeah,
I can't think of the name of the.
Neither can I. Those guys asked me, and I said absolutely not. But yeah, he played Van Helsing, so he was.
We got props and everything.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Well, if you saw it, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's good. But anyway. Well, listen, here we go. So where do we find Peter Pontsa? So, do you have social media? Do you have a website? Do you have a lemonade stand? Where do people find Peter?
Everything except the lemonade stand. I've got a Facebook account. I've got an Instagram account. I believe I'm on X. And you can reach me at peterpontsa.com. And my books are on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, all the regular places.
Well, great. Right, we're going to have your book up. We'll have your website up, everything, so people can find you. And, you should look into a lemonade stand this summer. It might, it works. People come by, have a drink, and buy a book.
And sell a book, yeah. It's a novel business plan.
It's a novel business plan for a novel.
Yeah,
absolutely.
See, you get so much coming on a show like this.
It's very, very informative. Thank you. I mean, I'm writing it all down right now.
Yeah, we do it all. We do it all here. It's a full service show. So anyway, well, we appreciate you coming by, and of course the book Sanctity of Freedom. It's an Inspector William Fox series, book 2. And it's Peter Thomas Pontsa. So thank you very much.
And thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
This has been a production of the House of Mystery Radio Show. To find out more about our show, guests, or hosts, go to our website at houseofmysteryradio.com.